Hey, Crown Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters. Thank you for tuning in to another segment on YouTube with the Crown Content Publication Services family. Sorry, my microphone wasn't plugged in there. Where publishing and marketing services do meet. If you are interested in learning more about our services to assist authors and freelancers just like you in 2022, visit my website, www.contentcrownpublications.com, which is always listed in the description section as well. If you're wondering why my comment section isn't open, it's because you guys have not helped me get to 100 subscribers yet. But let's celebrate the small milestones, guys. I started this channel in January of 22, and we are now at 22 subscribers. Coincidentally, something with the 22 there. So I'm just keeping hope, like you guys hopefully are out there. Speaking of hope, if you saw, the title of this segment is titled How I Overcame Homelessness Through a Pandemic. And I know that let me start by saying this, guys. If you look at the other segments, I'm not talking much about my personal life unless it's about business or how I became an author. But I was thinking on this evening how all of it ties together in the most coincidental way. It's almost as if it's true for some of us. We have to go through the pain and rain, or the darker our paths seem to be, the brighter the light on the other side, or stuff like that. So even if I wasn't a spiritual or religious person before, I definitely believe in hope and faith and believing in oneself to expect to see results, any type of positive results outside of what I was going through, okay? So we know that I'm not going to go into details about how the pandemic affected me personally, but it was just so much going on, like little things, guys. When public places were shut down, for example, and I'm talking about like courthouses, maybe social security offices and tax offices and stuff like this, and that wasn't necessarily for the pandemic. Sometimes there was just these governmental shutdowns, or maybe I'm the only one that remembers. I had no choice in the matter. I was just a human out here trying to find her way. A young human at that, who was in and out of college because sometimes I did have to sacrifice my will, my desire to gain a degree. And it did at moments through my journey feel like not fair, because it seemed like everybody else that went and strived for their degrees just went straight through. And people have different stories, guys. I'm just saying, prevalently, majority of the people I knew when they went to college, it was just smooth sailing. They had, all kind of family and friends supporting them. But I mean, I was just one of those for a long time who, first of all, for a long time, didn't know online classes were possible for myself. I didn't learn something like that till 2017. I kept trying to go on campuses and literally, participate as a student in person, right? And I have the records and documents of this stuff. I can't lie about anything on my segment today, okay? But yeah, it took, I'm speeding up to the year 2017. On my shirt here, you're going to see that my small business, Crown Content Publications. Y'all probably can't see it, but we've been here, it says, since 2017. Well, 2017 was when I did brainstorm the idea to begin helping authors who had just as much of a passion and desire to write like I did, but I didn't get the official business going until 2019, okay? So anyways, you're probably like, what does that have to do with your homeless journey? A lot. I'm telling y'all first what was like sacred to me, what meant the world to me. Number one, my education. Number two, finally learning that starting my own business was more in grip. Starting a business was something I love to do. Come on now. I'd have been much further by now had it not been for the roadblocks. If you haven't checked out my other video called Road to Success, you will even notice there I don't talk a lot about my personal journey, but maybe that video will make sense. Like, okay, she talks about roadblocks, she talks about pit stops, it'll make sense once you listen to this one and then go back and listen to that one. But if you're interested, it is called Road to Success. It was kind of like an encouragement segment, because I do try to do inspirational type segments on here for authors, for entrepreneurs, especially because if I was out here going through what I was going through silently, it's probably thousands more of you guys out there. So anyways, I just put overcoming homelessness through a pandemic to kind of get you guys to click on. I admit it was clickbait, but I actually have experienced homelessness probably more than, I don't know. I don't want to compare myself to other millennials. So homelessness in time past was you literally sleeping on a park bench or, sleeping outside. That's not what I mean. But when I tell you I do have experience with having to live with friends, having to live with family, I'm just being honest. Even shelters, let me tell y'all something. They're not always what you think. I can't speak on the men's shelters, but I can. I have learned to appreciate as a young woman what women in children's shelters have been able to do for some people's lives out here, because, I've been there. And I mean, y'all look at me, I'm human. When I say my pride was done like this, it didn't matter if I was religious or spiritual or not. Either way, I ended up in these type of circumstances. Maybe it's because staying with somebody or something didn't work out. Maybe it's because my life was being threatened on many levels, and I have been there too. But I'll do a separate segment on, y'all, I'm a big advocator of supporting battered women and helping them get to higher places of elevation where they can begin to love themselves, begin to just do better in life. When it comes to independence, a lot of y'all be out here judging and talking down on women that choose the more independent path. But see, if you don't know what that woman has been through, it makes you look dumb. Whether they defend themselves in that moment or not, it makes you look dumb, because facts are facts, and there's probably things they already been through trying to bring 1,000 people on their journey and path with them, and it just didn't work. If anything, probably made their path a little more strenuous. Confusion was everywhere. It's just not the best thing all the time to have when you're struggling. Let me give that out, because it's called How I Defeated Homelessness Through a Pandemic. Y'all thought it was probably going to be a list of 10 things I did. There's no right or wrong way, I feel like, to defeat a barrier like homelessness, okay? Because it was time I was homeless, like living with people, but I had transportation. I had a job. I even had my own business before, right? It's like a process with everything we do in life. And if you're one of those people out there judging people, I call it in my other video, Road to Success, pit stops. Judging people while they're only in pit stop phases, I pray for people like that anyway, because I feel like it has to be something wrong with them mentally. Like, why would you judge somebody because especially if you saw it right in your face, right in your eyes, you saw what they were going through. Nobody's begging you to help them, because we're going to talk about that. Me choosing the independent route and how it hurted. Oh my God, hurt is not the word. It was because I'm one of those people, y'all. I love being social. I love people, but I felt like it was my downfall too, because people saw that about me, and I got to a point in my life, even through the homelessness transition I went through with the pandemic, I got to a point in my life where I'm saying, okay, I got all these people. I love people. But am I doing what I truly want to do in life? Am I going, you know what I mean? Some people go nowhere fast. I've been there. And I was going nowhere very fast. Like, really, I used to be a sprinter in high school, y'all. It leaked over into my life, and that was living in reverse. I shouldn't be moving fast, going nowhere. So those who are already trying to put their finger on it and put puzzle pieces together, no. The speed I've been had experience with for years. The only difference is I was going nowhere fast, and this time I'm making sure that there's a destination at the end of the tunnel. So I hope that kind of clarifies what they can look like in some people's lives. I'm sitting here looking at the camera. The ring light makes me look like I have other eyes here, but it's okay. So, like I said, this is not about a 10-tip thing, 10 things I did to defeat it. I want to talk about how staying mentally strong, staying emotionally strong, like somebody literally had to come and remind me through certain points and periods of my journey, hey baby, it's okay to cry. It's okay to get frustrated. It's okay to break down. You know, you need to heal. You need to, remember that you're human. Because I would get so independent, and I wanted to change that much. And something like a pandemic, you can't even control. Something like housing market prices going up, you can't control. You don't control. All I wanted control of, though, was my life, was my education, was my small business, was, being able to contribute things to my life, to get to see my children smile, to get, it's evil people out here. The Bible talk about that. They buy their children gifts. Anybody with children almost want the best thing for their child. Like, you can't beat that. They want the best. They want them to have opportunities they didn't have. Why wouldn't I have wanted anything different? But when it comes to homelessness, y'all, I know it. And I know I don't look like it. I know I don't even talk about it much, even on my social medias. Y'all can study it as much as you want to. But you might see signs now that I'm coming out. You might see, like, man, on that picture right there, she was at a bus stop. That picture right there, she did look like she was at somebody else. I don't know, however y'all gotta put it together, but I don't have any reason to lie, Mental strength literally helped me to overcome homelessness, especially during a pandemic, because I had to figure out ways to stay safe and healthy to where I'm not catching a virus. Let me tell y'all, during a pandemic is the worst time to be bouncing place to place. To be trying to figure out how, if you got enough money to pay for a motel room, to be trying to figure out how you go. Now gas prices are up, but then I was still seeing, like, the average, even $3 was high, but I was probably paying average $3.27 per gallon then, okay? So for some of us, it's not that we don't care what's going on. You just been through so much over so much period of time. As these changes happen, you're just kind of sitting back like, I've overcome this before. What did I just talk about? Mental strength and learning how to monetize and cash in and literally use, because some people sit and listen to sob stories, but I'm gonna tell y'all, sob stories got me in so much trouble, because if you cannot learn how to monetize your own pain, I did use that word, how to channel your pain in a way that you win on the other side of their pain, on the other side of their hurt, on the other side of whatever that circumstance or situation was that almost broke you. Because y'all, people are breaking mentally every day. I'm only 30 years old, but I've had my share in up close experiences with drug addicts, alcoholics, suicide, people that have survived suicide stories. I've heard a lot of stories. So once again, I'm not here to give a sob story, but what I was saying was sob stories got me in a lot of trouble. Imagine this I felt emotions, guys, that I don't even think have names. Have you ever tried to tell somebody what you were going? You ain't even got to the fact that you're homeless yet. You're just telling them what you're going through, and you can see it on their faces. You can almost read their minds, because body language tells a story. I've had people, I probably get 3 sentences in trying to explain something I was going through, and this could have been resources. I'm about to talk about resources too, because resources played a big part. People think the only resource out here is housing. There is levels to this. When you're coming from ground zero to it didn't matter that I had a DUNS number, EIN number in the system with the IRS. I was still human, and I still experienced right? Like living out of a hotel room, going through that type of stuff. Okay, and many people that hadn't even been through it before, this is a fact, did go through this throughout a pandemic, and this is why you had eviction moratoriums put in place to prevent people from being evicted. Because look, if you didn't already own your home or own a mobile trailer and all this stuff, when this thing hit the fan, you know, you paid rent, you kept your job, whether they wanted you to get a vaccination, a mask or not, or you were kind of stuck out, okay? So for a lot of us, when schools got shut down, right? I guess I can start there. Yeah, I didn't see schools getting shut down, but it prevented me, those hours between 8 to 2:30 when my kids were there, it prevented me from having to, I guess I could say, save money in a way. I was saving money, not having to pay childcare when I could work between the hours of 7:30 and 2 before the pandemic. But schools got shut down everywhere. Everybody's story different. So I'm like, man, school shut down. Now I gotta, see, they can easily take from your rent or the way you had your utility set up. Now I gotta work a job either overnight, which is just not that available for everybody. Everybody having a babysit. And then it's not safe for you to leave your kids with everybody these days overnight. We're talking nighttime now. Okay? I can't say I just 100% trusted schools, but even I was raised going to school. Outside of a few bullying incidents and stuff like that, I was okay in school. So that worked for us. My girls were going to school, and I was able to go to work. So that could have been the beginning of sorrows for me. Schools just get shut down, and they were shut down until the following fall. So you calculate the months and whatever I went through in between. If you get nothing else out of this segment, like I said, you probably clicked on it to just like, well, what did she do to overcome it? I stayed mentally strong. The resources were out here, because if it's a national state of emergency type situation like a pandemic, there were plenty of resources. Then with the resources came wait lists, came qualifications. And I was one of the humble people. I've already been there. I waited on these things. I've walked. Y'all, I literally have a book on Amazon right now. If you, it's not really about this story, but it's funny. I titled it "The Shoes She Walked In." You start to put puzzle pieces together when it comes to how I do the type of work that I do. And "The Shoes She Walked In" is a fiction, but you know, of course, it was inspired. It came from somewhere. But my point is, I've walked in shoes, and I feel like to deserve. You know, I'm not the type of person just sit in my home and think this is what I deserve and I'm gonna do what I want to do in it, because I'm gonna always feel grateful. I'm gonna always feel like more than humble. And I guess it takes people going through things, you know. It takes people going through things, knowing what it's like to against your will not have something. Then you become more grateful for the resources. You become more grateful. And a lot of the ones that say this and that, man, it is what it is. Their door wasn't even open. And if it was, they weren't the type of people that I would have trusted, because I've been there too, where a door was just open because somebody see what you're going through. They see what you're going through, and they're thinking about how they can capitalize off of it. That's what I encourage a lot of young women. We probably think that homeless shelters and stuff like this is the only route when you can't even trust people's homes anymore. But it's really not. And there are resources out here, you know what I mean? Even when you get on these programs that help you just because you're a college student, that helps you just because you're a single mother or something like that. But you got couples, whole married couples that went through homeless periods through a pandemic. If you don't believe me, you have not done enough research. Whole married couples that were evicted out of their places when they could no longer afford rent just because it was a pandemic going on. So it's not always about you being a single woman. I want y'all to know there are family shelters out here. As long as you got that marriage license, you can prove that y'all are a married couple, they will reserve a room for you, okay? I don't know how full or not these things are now, because, but my journey, I'm not going to say too much on her, but I want to inspire somebody. things can lead to homelessness these days that you wouldn't believe, that you wouldn't even believe. And when, like, again, if it's not a lease in my name, to me, I'm homeless, okay? That room, that nice hotel room was probably in my name, but it wasn't mine, was it? I mean, it wasn't something that I can say is tied to my credit or nothing. That'd be nice, though. It's ideal for you hotel businesses out there. Can y'all start reporting the payments we make on these rooms in case we do go through a situation like this to the credit bureaus? Because we're going to pay that room on time if we need somewhere to stay, okay? Mental strength helped me to overcome homelessness during a pandemic. Am I the strongest mental person out there? No. I just talked about on a previous segment about autism awareness. Not that I suffer from autism, but that I have my own mental health barriers that I suffer from, right? Like disruptive anxiety, and how mental health does run through the bloodline in my family. It just does. And it's just funny, you know, I'm not saying my family, but the black community, we really have a lot of work to do when it comes to accepting. We quick to call anything Down syndrome or crazy, but actually accepting and gaining more knowledge about the effects of mental health, right? Before just saying this person, this and that, this. Some of this stuff, it was hereditary, right? Like, if they didn't keep it under control, it wasn't gonna get no better. If they weren't doing something to literally help this mental health, and a lot of people, what's even worse, don't even know they're suffering from mental health issues. They don't know why they're so quick-tempered. They don't know why they're so sensitive. They don't know why they don't feel comfortable in big group gatherings or something. These are mental health issues, okay? So another depiction I can almost give, I don't care, I'm humble. Like, I might talk about the business consultation, publication services, and all that, but do y'all know the background story of Crown Content Publications? Because if I visioned it in 2017 and literally made it an official business in 2019, and it's 2022, and y'all don't know why I'm on fire, well, you know now. You know now. I'm the humblest fire. I'm the quietest fire you'll probably ever see. Because fires make noise sometimes, and then you can smell them. You can smell them burning. But this one is just, I don't bother nobody. I know what I have to gain and what I have to lose, okay? And I just feel like, you know, I don't know what other people's situation do to them. I just been through stuff. Y'all know the movie Pursuit of Happiness. I bring it up in a lot of my segments. It's one of my favorites. So y'all can say what you want about Will Smith. He did a great job in that depiction. I bring that movie up because, like I said, I'm not going to go into details of just like routes and routes I took and people I met along the way, because that was great too. People that now that I'm sitting in a home and can expect to be housed in the future because I'm doing something, I'm taking full-blown accountability for my life, regardless of who got to say what, who judged this and that, who's trying to stop what, and that's going on too. That's just a part, and this is a part of surviving a pandemic. You know, people are, it's gotten bad out here, y'all. Like, when you got thousands and millions of people that begin to suffer, it's like it slowly takes away your right to be comfortable. That's not even rich. That's not even, you know, middle class. Just a little comfortability to where you can finally think, you can finally see, you can finally eat. I don't know, it's crazy. Now you get that little bit. This is what surviving homelessness through a pandemic and overcoming homelessness through a pandemic has looked like for myself, even as an artist, even as a writer, even as a poet, even as a college student, even as a mother, even as a small business owner. I'm here to inspire somebody. That's why y'all thought I'd be crying, like, man, you know. No, I'm here to inspire somebody. Because on the road to success segment I already did, everybody's road to success is going to be different. Like, I'm past the part where I'm crying and hurt about what I had to go through. Now I'm on fire. Like, why? Why was these attacks so hard? Why? Yeah. I know y'all looking at me. I could have sold myself. I could have did this. I could have did that. I wouldn't have went through the hell. I could have joined this crew, that organization, that society. Yeah. And then but when we talk about independence, because you know, whatever your vision or whatever it is you trying to strive for, I learned a lot of the people helping me through my homeless situation. Cause let's talk about this, y'all. Have you ever opened your door for somebody? When you did, think about this very deeply. Did y'all have an agreement on, you know, what it is that they're going to try to do in a certain amount of time, how they're going to do it, and I'm sure you opening your door assist them enough. It's like, why they handle their business, this person who's trying to get back on their feet, and getting back on their feet should look like gaining a lease contract again in their own name. It could be barriers that people face. Like in certain states, lease laws look different. Especially if you have broken leases, That might have been my story too. And I was already going through that before the pandemic. You got somebody striving, trying to finish college, willing to go to work and all of that, but they're being blocked when it comes to laws and credit and all of this. And they're not getting approved. And then they don't have nobody in their corner willing to just take that risk, take that chance, and become a subleaser or co-signer for them. And they see you with kids. That's why I say I wasn't finna go into too much detail about what it looked like or why. This is about how I overcame it, right? I'm just telling you some of the things I had to overcome. See, if I did a not a sublease, but kind of co-sign for somebody, I think I would do it. I just think I got to do an extensive background on you. We're going to have a very serious talk in front of an attorney. We're going to make sure you have a very stable source of income. So I know that, because really, you paying that lease off, it's just going to help my credit. I'm the co-signer, right? Was I supposed to stop and make this make sense to people? Yeah, if I sit here and pay this lease off, it's going to help your credit. But that's why I start feeling like, you know, sometimes people open their door. I don't know who this is for out there. It's just an inspiration story. Sometimes people only open their door because they're trying to capitalize, see where they can, you know, cash in off your pain, off your struggle. When the whole time it was never that. And that's what I'm talking about. Some of y'all got jobs. Many people I was in shelters with, they went to work. They worked overtime. I was one of them. Not overtime, but I kept a job. I'm one of the few people in these places, not only with transportation, but helping women get to where I ain't got to explain my story to nobody. These women know. They know. And then, you know, it ain't about them knowing. This might have helped them get through whatever they were going through. But they knew they could pay. They knew they could pay Secret Arthur Tedasheri to take them where they need to go. A little gas money or something, and we helping each other. It's an exchange. You get where you need to go, and I make a little gas money. And I really make some gas money if I take 10 people where they need to go. Between peers while I'm looking for a job or whatever going on. So how do I overcome homelessness plus staying healthy or safe or keeping myself protected during a pandemic from a deadly virus, might I add? Remain a college student. People don't have to see my journey the way I do. You think I don't think for a second that I went through these things for a reason? Now that part, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I'm like, man, I'm tired of hearing it, man. It's for a reason. What's the reason? But we gotta be careful what we ask for. Are we even mentally ready for what we think we want in life? Was I mentally ready to become an author? I probably was, but the material I was gonna bring, was it what type of material? It's authors out here covering all type of different stuff. Maybe I should cover more real issues when it comes to society. Real things women go through, real things men go through, parents go through, the elderly goes through, okay? This is what is relevant to people. They want to read real experiences, real suffering and pain. I mean, it is what it is. It's sad, but pain has always sold. You read a true biography story about somebody you know had to go through X, Y, and Z. people are quicker to read that type of stuff. They quicker to watch a movie that could have been a true story about the struggles and triumphs of somebody's life. I just never thought that would have to be me, right? I would have been cool with going through my life and journey as a young woman, smooth sailing, all the support, all the friends, everything I wanted to buy is right at my fingertips. I would have loved it to be me, but see, I'm not complaining, y'all. I don't know what it is. Like I told you, it's like it just started a fire. Like, man, there's not enough people, it can't be, that know my story, and I'm not at the point yet where, I don't know, I might hire a ghostwriter myself. I'm a writer, but this is a lot when you're talking about your own life and just covering things that you would like to make people aware when it comes to your success story. Yeah, because like I said, some of us was going through stuff long before a pandemic. I'm going to say barriers, because one barrier could make you look like this, and that, and it's stupid that people don't even take the time to see things through or ask a person, what exactly is it like to walk in your shoes? What exactly is it like to try to get this done but have to do these 3 things at the same time? Why you try to do that? They don't ask you that. It automatically got to be, well, she has to be doing this to be able to do that. Like, just judgment, y'all. Who made y'all judges? Who made y'all judges? Oh, it's okay. Y'all can be judges, but I just noticed this thing. Like, the people that ain't really been through nothing, that ain't walked through your shoes, they don't like to be judged back. It's weird. They don't even want you to know they shoes. It's weird. They might show you a few laces and the tongue of the shoe, but they really don't want you to know their shoes. It'd be weird. I think it's that people have a deep internal fear that somebody might overcome something that they struggle with. That's the point of seeing inspirational stories. Or somebody, well, she does have more sense of an integrity. She chose independence for her way out, and I did this, and that. That's what I chose with my life through a pandemic, because it's something that none of us had ever seen. So nobody could give you the blue book on what to do, how to do it. As a college student, as a business owner, somebody trying to everything I'm just named has a lot to do with independence, because can't nobody do my coursework for me in school. Yeah, I don't choose to play like that. I like to make my own grades. I like to put my own work in. Nobody was willing to step up to the plate and co-sign anything, so that wasn't an option, you know. Yeah, baby daddies and all, or were they in the same shoes? Their credit wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Growth all the way together. But if I was a man out here and a woman out here got my kids, she not finna be in those. I mean, maybe I can't speak because I'm not a man, but she not finna be in no shelter type situations. And then if she have to come move with me with my child, or let's say like my child would always be welcome, like it is with a lot of you men. But it's very few men that I've seen told the mom, come on too. See, if you got the type of woman that say now she can't come here, and she knows that that's your child mother, I don't know, that's another discussion for another day. But maybe it is for this segment, because we're talking about a pandemic, y'all, and some of y'all are so up here. You can't sense or feel or see yourself helping your husband or man's baby mama, letting her stay in y'all house with their child so she can get on her feet. This not just in the black community. This why it was so much homelessness. It's a lot of more people going through mental health stuff than I thought, and they think they're not. Because when it comes to the well-being of society, the well-being of your neighbors, because you don't know when you're going to be in that situation and need somebody, nobody is thinking this way. But they think it's supposed to always help, supposed to flood in. When Hurricane Katrina happened, I'm not knocking that situation. It's an example. Before Hurricane Katrina happened, it was beautiful to see people pull together and help each other out of that situation. But before it happened, how was people living? Once again, when national state of emergencies happen, it shouldn't be it should be more, what I'm trying to say, it should be more coming together, you would think, happening, because this is something that's affecting everybody, that nobody asked for, that nobody really saw coming. We don't know what the next thing gonna be. The reason I have the type of heart I have, y'all, is because I don't know, and it's not humans I'm depending on, it's karma I depend on. Everybody believe in that, y'all believe in that, don't you? I wanted my karma, I always want my karma to be, handleable, respectable. It don't have to be $1 million because I helped a few people. I helped a few. Oh, that's a part of overcoming homelessness during the pandemic. I remember giving to the homeless, y'all, while I was homeless. Because they actually were sleeping at parks and sleeping on bench and standing outside of stores asking for money and stuff like that. I'm not knocking them. But I felt even more humble through my journey. And it made me feel good. It helped me get through overcoming what I was going through. I'm out here complaining, thinking I'm going through something that all I got to do is fight my way out of. And somebody sleeping in the grass every night just asked me for a few dollars. So once again, to me, it was never like income or being able to keep an income steady or being lazy. Didn't I just mention it would be great if hotel, not motels, hotels, because we know that's going to be another type of price in there. If they would report to credit, this ain't that. So they don't report to credit bureaus. It helps me no way, shape, or form outside of staying outside of the cold and the rain to rent a hotel room. And some people was out here sleeping in their cars during the pandemic. I said I wasn't going to go into details. So I am grateful, like I didn't have to per se do that. Oh, but I remember, staying at work or just staying busy, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have to even sit in a person's house all day just because I'm there. And people put stuff out there like they want to. But, I wanted to look more proactive, like I am trying to get out of this situation. And when I'm here, but I'm going to try to stay out your way. You know what I'm saying? It's more like people will, and I don't want to ever have to go back to that level, y'all. So when y'all see me on fire on this channel or any other business endeavor that I'm into, I can't make you respect it, but something about Architect Sherry, you know something about her independence, about how she, and like I said, I just wanted to inspire somebody. Y'all check out my book, The Power of No, the guide for the entry-level entrepreneur, because I talk about this so much. If you can't mentally maneuver through life, if you can't grow through life, you will get stuck at certain. And you can't always blame the circumstance. You can't always blame who were you through it. At least after the circumstance, when people go back and ask certain people about me and who I was in that situation, people saw for themselves. Man, I couldn't even tell she was going through it. Man, she always paid her fees. Man, she always tried to pay me back, even in that situation. And some people still want you to believe you're not built for business. You're not built to be an entrepreneur. I'm giving out money to people. I didn't even have it to do that. Clearly, if I'm trying to. So sometimes, yes, guys, when it comes to broken leases and evictions and stuff like that, the only way out is to pay off your debt so that you can begin to rent comfortably again. I began to find out over time that, you can actually negotiate. Let me make this an educational segment at the same time, and steps you can take, because little barriers like these sometimes be having people out here homeless too. And it's, you already know, baby daddy, baby mama, cousin them ain't always willing to let you come stay. So you do have to take initiative. Don't just be staying in the shelter because you got to stay there and letting them capitalize off of it. Take $50, $120 out of each check while you ain't got no bills, and pay that credit bureau. That's what I was trying to tell y'all. When you're dealing with like broken leases and stuff, they will, number one, when you call and get the information from the credit bureau about who you owe and collections, and get in contact with these people that have you down as owing this and that, whether it's the cable people, old phone bill servicers. Predominantly, I'm going to say those broken leases and stuff, y'all, because that greatly impacts your credit, okay? You always want to, while you're in that situation, look at the root of the circumstance and then put your foot forward into ways that you can begin to take care of that. Okay, let me see where I was. Credit bureaus will sometimes negotiate, especially when you're on the phone right that minute. You're really adamant about getting this taken care of. You even explain what you're going through because it's there. And sometimes, y'all know, we can dispute things. And then after a certain amount of time, things fall off. All of that matters, okay? So we can start to alleviate more homelessness out here. Because it ain't like we're having any... I had just made that one joke. It would be nice if hotel rooms could start reporting to credit bureaus for people and help some people credit out here. But anyways... They will negotiate certain debts that you owe. I don't know about the student loan people and everything else. This is strictly about homelessness, preventing it, how I overcame it and stuff like this. And am still overcoming every day. Independently. Because, my credit is my credit, and whatever I did to make, and a lot of people weren't kind of schooled all the way down coming up or in school. Like, I had to go to school for business and a whole nother other thing and learn from people along the way. But your credit is going to be very important, okay? And even when you find yourself in a bind, guys, there are credit repair people out here who help you work on these things. They call themselves credit doctors and stuff, or you can do the work yourself. Dispute and fight stuff. Don't just be in your situation, going through your situation. Let that be your pit stop phase where you say, okay, I'm finna start calling companies and agencies and things that I usually don't have time to do because I'm too busy trying to survive. And make sure you're doing that along the way of surviving too. Because what is surviving? You got to be wanting more than surviving. Eating, breathing, having shelter. That's what a shelter is. That's what your home is. If you turn it into that, what are you doing to elevate yourself? What are you doing to extend yourself further in life? Okay, so I start calling credit people, like, hey, what can I do? And to my surprise, number one, they will negotiate things with you. They will lower things down and allow you to make payment plans on things so you can get that knocked off. And it won't have your credit score reflecting such a bad number. Something as simple as paying off old home and apartment debts. For renters out here, a lot of us were simply renters when the pandemic happened, right? But if you were to have something like an eviction right before it started the pandemic, which could have happened to anybody, even worse, an eviction during the pandemic, a broken lease during the pandemic. Why do broken leases come about? I feel like eviction courts and stuff, people need to talk about this, because everybody broken lease happens for different reasons. You need to put that notice in to your landlord. If you're having a problem with a neighbor and you done said this 5-6 times and they not listening and you're like, I can't take this no more, I'm moving out, you got a right to do that. But how's this going to reflect on your credit? Because really, if you don't go get a place within the next 3 months before that's added to your credit, nobody's going to want to rent to you. So these just things to look at. Even sublease, I had got my knowledge up a little bit about how people will rent out rooms to you, okay, guys? This prevents you from having to look like the leech of somebody you're staying with. You rent a room out from somebody who offers these sublease contracts, okay? Who allow you to either rent out a place from them, landlords that own residences. You can also end up talking to them about your situations, and them being willing to work out things with you. What I was going to say is subleasing has gotten very popular. I just got my knowledge up, guys, because some people, you throw them in the dark, they just can't see. They can't see nothing. They're dark. They're in a dark place, so everything about them turns dark. I couldn't be that. It was too much light. It was too much. I had already experienced and tasted too much. It's kind of like taking a person out of a mansion and putting them in a cottage and expecting them to be okay with that for the rest of their life, okay? Once they got a taste of that mansion over there, that BMW or something over there, they're like, no, I know it's better than this in life. I just need to know what I need to do to fix this in my life, right? Regardless of if it was a pandemic or not. What can I do to maneuver through this? So I had got my knowledge up. Even, y'all don't know this, it's people that literally, I don't want to call them homeless, but what do you call it when they're beginning to live out of RVs and campers? Just get my knowledge up about how I can start looking at other options to keep me from going to that situation again. Okay. People are converting buses and vans, all this, RVs and stuff, just so they don't have to be able to worry about signing a lease and being approved and all of that. People are getting burnt out on it. There are also people who rent out Airbnbs and they do this by the day, because it charges you by the day, just like a hotel room. Okay, just like people are living out of hotel rooms, there are people renting out Airbnb spaces. Like, I just live in a new time. It took me, how do I overcome something? I get more knowledgeable about what I'm even facing. First of all, I got more knowledgeable about what was holding me back, which might have been my credit. It didn't matter how much money I was making. If I can't go get approved, if that's Social Security, if I can't get approved, I'm in trouble. And then if I don't know any other options, then yeah, I could very well, that's what I think these people on park benches, they don't know. They can go get them a day labor job and make at least $150 a day. Yeah, 70% of that check, that daily earning, might go back to your Airbnb or hotel room, but you do not have to be sleeping out there, okay? And I just feel like it's enough space. Even if everybody can't lease or rent, it has to be enough space for people out here to be able to stay out of the cold, the rain, and the heat. Now, a lot of people, as far as mental disabilities and physical disabilities, they do at some point receive, Social Security checks, but I've met people who were just pending on these type of things to be approved. So what do they do in the meantime? They're in a wheelchair, or they're literally cannot work. They cannot do anything to change their situation until certain things go through. I just want to encourage somebody out here, they might even know somebody in this situation. There are resources to help the disabled, okay? You just have to, what did I say about overcoming? Get your knowledge up. And then get in touch with these resources while they're here, okay? Because this might help somebody for 9 months until their disability Social Security get approved. Look, I'm not even an elder. I'm not even close to retiring yet, but it is good to know these things. Set up 401k for myself early, retirement plans for myself early. One pit stop of homelessness, I told you, it was that mental strength. Thinking through my obstacles. Man, if I can, it's like level. I got it. I might have to start here. Y'all can't even see my hand. It's down here. I might have to start here. But do I have plans? You know what I mean? Am I expanding my knowledge? Because it is what it is, And yes, sublease properties have gotten more popular. Some of them will let you rent out up to 2-3 rooms in their home for a certain price a month. And this just helps the landlord there keep up whatever they got to keep up. Don't ever think you don't have any options. It was hard during the pandemic because people don't mind helping you, but it's like, we don't want COVID, and then, we might try to tell you what we think is safest for you because we don't want COVID in our house. It was a strain for everybody. I just wanted to give a little briefing on what it was like because I found myself grateful today. I don't care what backlash I get out of it, and if I got to go through it 30 more times, I do pray that I don't have to, right? Because I'm gaining too much knowledge to keep myself, to keep my children off of park benches and sleeping in cars and stuff. I'm gaining too much knowledge, so I do pray that my knowledge takes me far, and that the people I come into contact with and that get familiar with my past, my story, and what I've overcome and what I've been trying to do through every new level. I can only pray, that turns in. But it is a good feeling too to know, look, if I got to go back through the trenches, we living in a time now, people that never been through the trenches going through the trenches, y'all, just because the economy is being affected. Everybody's credit is literally being affected if they're not careful with each spend, each lease, each contract. Everybody's being affected, and then you got those out there, like I said, that doesn't make the pandemic easy to stay, to survive when you got people that, because they've been affected a certain way, See, they wasn't like me where they like, well, I'm gonna just go through what I gotta go through independent and spread my knowledge. They just looking for a easy come up way. They're just looking for to turn you down. And I'm really sitting here trying to think, like, how does that help them? It might help their conscience and their ego. Well, long as she's not doing well, you're still in the situation you're in, though, whether I exist or not. You're not helping the problem as a whole, as a society. Are you helping any businesses stay in business? Are you helping anybody in the legal aspect way? Are you helping anybody stay protected? Are you helping them with resources? You're not doing none of it. You're a part of the problem to me. You're a part of why people is out here on the bench. Or do you have any type of homeless advocacy programs going? Some type of organization where people can donate and you can help these people? But you're willing to ride down the street laughing at them. You're willing to judge a woman who was battered by a man. That's something she can't control. Every baby daddy don't come with those colors on them when a woman lays down and have a baby with him. She gotta see his colors later. That's another thing, y'all. Like, people, and I did a segment on that, watching who you keep in your business circle, even when you do get to a comfortable level where you might be able to kind of at least get your business back stabilized, because this is for entrepreneurs, okay? You got to watch who you got around you, because, like I said, you got people out here that feel like nobody should be doing good if they're not. They're never going to disappear either. And how do we fight that? You overcome your struggle. They ain't got to watch me. I'll talk about it. But what's funny, they don't ask. They don't ask, like, what did you do here? What did you do there? What gave you this idea? They don't. That's how I see deep inside. They really don't care. They're just looking for a way. Let me end the segment saying this, y'all. I believe, and I learned through my situation that, because I could have did the same thing, hated on people, and just got bitter and angry at people who were living better than me at periods that I was going through stuff, but I didn't choose to do that. Remember me talking about karma? I learned through my whole situation during a pandemic that everybody's shoes, y'all notice we all wear a different shoe size. Everybody's shoes that they walk in is different. The style, the color, the size. You might have the same shoes as somebody, they're still a different size. Everybody's blessings are different. Therefore, everybody's pain to even receive their blessing on the other side is different. You can't not get beat up by a man for 12 years like that woman did, and then start hating on that woman when she finally gains independence about her life, and she says, look, I don't want to go through these type of things anymore. I'm gonna, because that's how karma works for her. She chose to leave a terrible and damning situation, so the universe and life begin to gravitate to her. They say you get a new glow on you anyway when you leave things that are not for you, a bad job, a bad guy, whatever it is. People quick to put a like on it when somebody's sure mean about these type of things, but in real life, I've been studying people. They don't want to go through what you had to overcome. They don't want that, and they're going to make sure they don't go through it. They're watching you do everything possible to make sure they don't make the mistakes you made. Which were human mistakes, might I add. Nobody's born perfect. Credit issues, single parentness, human things. They don't want to go through that. They don't want to go through what the co-parenting stuff you had to go through, the child support issues you had to go through, dropping out of school and going back, and dropping out of college and going back. But they want that graduation degree. They want that same degree that you're going for, but they don't want to go through what you went through. They want that same business that you started, but they don't want to go through what you had to go through to when I say mental strength, where did I keep my business books and files while I'm moving? Nobody cares. Nobody cares whether I had help keeping up with that stuff. Well, thankfully, I kept record of it. And it's on record with the IRS, and this is great. And it's a motivation through every trial and struggle I go through. I can lose things. I done lost things too. Louis Vuitton bags, Gucci bags. I done lost things that are not, that stuff means nothing to me. Some women, y'all, without a certain bag, they feel less than life. They feel less than life without a certain type of car, without a certain type of credit score, which they should, but it shows more their character if they have to go through a phase in life without these things completely by themselves. It shows their character. Well, who are they in that situation? I learned who I was, and after I came out of it, I could care less about a Louis Vuitton Birkin bag today. I'd be grateful if I got it as a gift, but I could care less about it because, I can get deep about it. Can I even take that to the grave? Is it going to matter what purses I had? I guess I could sign it in the will, give it to my daughters or something when I'm gone. But really, a bag don't make or break me, right? Right? Is this what proves my legacy? How many bags I had when I died, or the type of character I had before I left? So I was just speaking on how it seems like, everybody's blessing, like their purpose in life, their mission, their calling is different. And I'll always feel a deep compassion for people who, and maybe I shouldn't, but I just feel like they haven't grasped this concept yet, regardless of how young or old they might be. We have to learn that, what's for that man might not be for that man. What's for that woman might not be for that woman. Like in the movie of The Pursuit of Happiness, people wouldn't have wanted to go through what Chris Gardner had to go through, but they would have loved his position as a broker, as an accountant, driving a Ferrari or the nicest car, and live his very life. Once he came out of his struggle and was blessed by the universe and karma for keeping his head up, for keeping his strive, his grit, his ambition through what he was going through. The day we live in today, though, you had to been doing something wrong. You had to have did a shortcut. And people are sitting here seeing what you went through. Or they didn't take the time to ask you what you went through, because you might have been able to tell them and show them the paperwork and proof too. Call the witnesses who seen you go through it. They didn't care. So yeah, man, y'all, that's the type of things I saw. If it wasn't already going on through a pandemic, this is the way people have turned. Because we're all suffering, I want to know how you think you gonna make it. It's really it's some stuff I don't want to be close to or around. I want to know why you think you deserve it. Well, excuse me, neighbor, brother, sister, I think I deserve it because of what I just kept my head up through. I think I deserve it because of how many times I turned my cheek when I should be in jail. I think I deserve it because, of all the tears I wiped myself. I didn't have nobody to wipe them. All the times I picked myself up by the bootstrap and the boots was falling apart. Okay? Like a person that's really, really humble at heart, they didn't look for nobody to do it either. That's probably why the universe and karma comes around to make sure that they get their due diligence in life. They didn't bother nobody about coming out. Regardless of when they got to this, you gotta wake up because facts are facts. Ain't nobody finna, and y'all out there with people that's just co-signing cars and apartments, and kudos to you. But don't sit there and hate on somebody's life that you don't see what they went through. You don't see what they went through or what they overcame, how many demons they fought mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and you didn't help them fight them. It's just crazy, y'all. Like, I done had people tell me I owe them. See, when you don't pay people back like tangibly with cash, you still owe them. That's another thing. Overcoming homelessness during the pandemic. You didn't pay me back cash, but you gave them whole plugs. Well, we call them plugs where I come from, but I'm talking about connections that could make them money. And all they had to do is keep that connection within, and they could see as much money as they. I mean, the more you give out a connection, it's not really a connection no more, so you can't call it a connection. So a connection is one of those things, or a plug, like I named, that everybody is not tied to. Some people out here, you paying them, you giving them connections, they will never. You always in debt with them because they helped you for one period in your life, one season in your life. And y'all wondering why people out here walking the streets, you're not willing to hear their story. Why people out here standing in line at the homeless shelter getting plates, but you're not willing to hear their story, man. Some people, homelessness cycles before and after the pandemic is only because, like, people just getting, number one, people are getting selfish. They don't look at situations like, I'm going to contribute to this person because if they begin to win, I'm going to support this business because if this business begins to win and I need a favor, I need a letter of recommendation, I need a job one day, this business will help me. People don't look at things like that. They think, but it's smart. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to, just freely give themselves for nothing in return. But see, some people do because they was never looking for you to return it. They know that karma, the universe, the earth works in its own way to favor people. Every culture and history book I have read, when it comes to the law of attraction and things like this, they've already said it. I said in history, it's scientists, physiologists, people that just study the realms of life that have come to the conclusion, number one, that karma is real. Why is she talking about karma on a homeless sick? Because everybody is not homeless because they turned to drugs, they didn't keep a job. There are things that people go through, and it was so sad to me, like it took a pandemic, something everybody was some way, shape, or form affected by, for people to humble themselves and say, man, now I see that homelessness can happen to anybody. Now I see that a cycle of poverty can become that, not only when I become homeless, but if I don't choose to fight my way out of it. I can easily become an alcoholic because I'm homeless, because I'm depressed about it. I can easily not return back to college. I've seen people, y'all better ask these online colleges. It's been people that were homeless the whole time they studied their degree, and they're doing great now. They got that piece of paper, that degree, they went and applied for the job they needed, and whatever else they had to go through as they worked their job, but eventually they were okay. To me, the cycle of homelessness is going to take some mental strength, because your path and your way out of it might look different from somebody else's, okay? There's people out here fighting for immigration papers and rights and to become a citizen. Right now, is somebody out there would have loved to eat the half a plate you threw away just 2 hours ago. Somebody out there would love to sleep in the bed that you take for granted every night. You sleeping with 10 different women in every night. Whoever I'm talking to out there is somebody would love to be in your position. Because this is the times we live in. People are watching. How does she or he make it? How does she expect to do anything? Why is she trying to do that? That's another thing. You can't put a limit on somebody's goals and dreams who literally fought to even be able to attempt to do it. Why would they have a limit on their goals and dreams? Why wouldn't they? They know the feeling of being limited. They already know that. They're probably really familiar with it. So they always say, man, if I ever got the chance like Bill, if I ever had the support Jenny had, this is what I do. These type of people are still out here. This is what I would do. People have literally sat there and thought that. And if they fall into somebody's lap, y'all watch NFL every day. What happens? First of all, things are intercepted. Because if you sit on something, like, man, you was given that opportunity you dreamed about, but what did you do with it? It got intercepted. Okay, some people even fumble things. I don't want to be one of those. See, I chose to be more independent because I know I'm okay independent. It's the ones that get the creeping in my business. It's the ones that is trying to make sure that I don't go further than limited. It's stupid. It's the ones that's trying to make sure that they find some flaw. No human is perfect. Oh, she smokes cigarettes. She has a wine drink here and there. It's dumb. But they don't know I should be worse off. Do they know what I've been through? Then people try to go and throw dirt on what you've been. Oh, that's nothing. Everybody's been through that. No, well, I'm just another one of the party. I'm just another one percentage of homeless survivor, homeless overcomer. You can't put people in that situation. You don't want to see them be an advocate of nothing. An advocate for women rights, an advocate for, but they've overcome these things. Don't we think other people need to hear these stories to at least gain hope that they might be a survivor? And some of the stuff I'll never be able to speak on and explain, because there's no limit on what you see in the homeless community. There's no limit on what you see when you have been amidst and amongst drug addicts, okay? Who turned to this stuff themselves because they felt like they had no voice, they had no help, they had no support. I'm not saying I advocate drugs, but I know a few stories of people that's out there on it. And it's always a backstory. Nobody is born and say, I'm going to do heroin one day. Nobody is born and say, I'm going to be a crack addict with no drugs walking the streets. And we sitting up here treating people like their environment doesn't shape and mold who they become. So yeah, I'm fighting hard every day. I'm not my environment. I'm not my past. I'm not my youth. Why wouldn't, if I have the chance and ability to make a change in this world, actually leave some type of legacy? None of y'all was crazy. Not one person on this earth created this earth, and they still ain't found. They ain't found one human with the capability. Now, we may be content creators. We might can create babies and stuff like that. But I'm talking about, we might can plant seeds and make them come to life, but you didn't create this earth. And people will try to limit you on this earth. It's crazy. Yeah, that's another part of overcoming. That was just that level of it. Okay, now you off the streets. Now you out the shelters. Now you out of people's house. Now they coming to make you look like you don't deserve it. And it's crazy. You literally, physically, emotionally went through what you went through. How do I not deserve it? Just telling y'all what to expect. You better keep your independence, keep your privacy, keep your protection, know your rights, know your legal rights. You know what I mean? Keep your ambition, whatever it is you want to do in life. Because see, now that it's a pandemic, it was always people like that didn't want to see you do it. But the pandemic made it worse because it's affecting people different ways. But what happens if we all pushed and draw and looked for support and actually supported one another? What would happen? Would people still be struggling the way they are? More people ask questions, came together. I'm probably not the only one who thought like this, but it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand when the numbers in the shelters are getting younger and younger. And then I've seen old people. I've seen people of all ages. It just don't make sense to me. I can't even speak on nursing homes, hospitals, jails, because that's a whole nother story. What are those community of people and survivors of those places going through after a pandemic, during a pandemic? And now they want people to be quiet about what they we put this in effect for the well-being of the community. Okay, just admit the fact that you putting regulations and mandates on things affected people's lives. What is there to be quiet about? You shutting down schools for a period of 7 to 8 months affected people. What is there to be quiet about? Courthouses and stuff like this being closed down for a certain period of month, whatever brought it about, affected people's lives. Cases were put on hold. Some people had to stay in jail longer. Some people out here had to deal with other things that came with nobody taking care of their case. Them not having the official, the official green light from the judge to be able to do things that they felt like they wanted to do to fix their situation. This affected people's lives. Luckily, one thing I noticed, the credit bureaus never closed down all the way through the pandemic. You could always call the credit people and collections departments, and they are going to answer, and they're going to take your money when they're ready, and when you're ready to pay, and they're going to be ready to collect. I hope this was an insightful segment. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Crown Content Publications channel segment, because I could talk about something like homelessness, as y'all see, over and over. But I just want people to know My business comes from a place. This is why I'm serious about my business. This is why I don't have time to scam nobody. I don't have time to play with nobody money or play with mine. I know what's on the other side of not being serious about my business. I don't care who's biased about it. Well, she's young, she can't be serious. It's a lot of young entrepreneurs out here. The question is, why are they so in my way? Why are they trying to block everything? Y'all don't know my whole story, and I'm not gonna go into it. But it's like you saw a person despair. You saw what they went through. You read the reports. You read the articles and summaries or whatever else you needed. You already, some of y'all saw it firsthand. You were strangers. Some of you've seen me before, so you saw it firsthand. But the thing is, man, that's why I'm just staying down. I know I can't take this business to the grave. I can't take really nothing tangible with me, and my own body is going to decay one day. So the funny thing behind it all is I've already gotten to that level about life. But it's funny how far people will go for something they don't have forever. They don't have it forever. They can keep it passed down in inheritance and stuff like that. I guess that's a way to keep it in the family, but the thing is, it's never yours forever. I can see a passion for success and things like that, but it should never get as bad as like, and I'm willing to stop, block, make her look like, and people think you can't see it. That's why I'm on this segment. Once again, this is not to call anybody out. This is what overcoming homelessness through a pandemic look like for me. Overcoming drama, overcoming mental breakdowns, nervous breakdowns, ignoring what people said and keeping focus on my life and where, because we all have like free will, right? The Bible says time and chance happening to them all. I don't want to use my time and chance worrying about my whole time and chance worrying about what everybody think is impossible for me, because I went through minor pit stops in my past. It's crazy. It's like people fear what you might become. That's why they're not going to help you. They know you would have been there. It's stupid, y'all. It's very stupid. They know you'd have been there already. You'd be on the last lap, passing that baton to somebody else by now. But people, I don't fear anybody's success. One thing y'all gonna hear about Crown Content Publications and why we offer business consultations is because we know that you might just need a little support, a little help with marketing, a little help with your bookkeeping, just things you might need to be brushed up on for your business, regardless of what that business is. We offer these services because we actually want to see you win. We don't want nobody out here going through what some of the people on our team have been through. But we take advantage in our own way of what people have gone through to share our story, to share our genuineness. Because you better believe it's people working behind the scenes saying we're everything but publishers. We're everything but business consultants. We're everything but writers. When it's been out there. Y'all see the shirt, 2017. This shirt is old, okay? But the idea was founded in 2017 by myself, Arthur Tertiary, but I was an author before I had the idea to help other authors. Thank y'all for tuning in, y'all, for real. This segment just made me a little emotional, but I wanted to give my story because it's a lot of y'all went through homelessness long before a pandemic, but respect those who have overcome that through a pandemic because it wasn't everybody. Some of y'all, you kept your rent afloat, and some of you guys helped people through it too. You get our kudos. But we just wanted people to know their options a little bit. You ain't always gotta go through what you think you're going through. We're living in a new time. Once again, subleases are available. Get to know some of these landlords that are renting out rooms out here. Get to know, find a motel that might be affordable for you, even if it's just an $8.50 an hour job. If it's just you with no kids, you're going to be all right. You might can't eat the lean cuisine dinners you want every night and Fat Joe burgers because you're going to have to save money and work your way up. But people are literally converting trucks, vans, buses. This is the time we live in, into homes because rent has gotten that much for people, especially with children. It's all me seeing, oh, okay, I'm not the only one I'm not the only one going through this. It's how we keep our character, who we choose to be through what we go through. And I just want to be me. I just want to be genuine, up or down. That's why going through certain things is kind of like a mental test. Because some of the things I've been through could have broke anybody, young or old. Young or old. Not only did I keep myself strong, I kept my children strong and was keeping people around me strong, going through something similar, all at the same time. Reminding them, look, we humans. Don't get too tied to what money you do or don't have, or what you should and shouldn't do when it comes to politics. Don't get too tied to that. Because outside of man-made things, this earth is natural. Not one man created it. You can create a baby. That's about it. You start a business, create content, like I said. That's about it. Thank y'all for tuning in. I said I was going to cut this off many times, and I kept going. But if you got a homeless story you want to share, and you overcame it, okay? Email me at crowncontentpublications@aol.com. Let's discuss the details and what it's going to look like to get you on my show. I'm not talking about on the YouTube channel. I have a podcast show, a separate podcast show I'd love to invite you on. Absolutely free. All my promotions are free this year because my podcast is brand spanking new. But I'm loving my YouTube channel presence and platform so far. And what we've been doing, the work we've been doing on our podcast show as well for entrepreneurs looking for promotion. If you like to share your story and what it was you overcame or you got through a pandemic, email me. Let's talk about it. You can share as little or as much as you like to. Thank you guys. The email is going to be in the description section. And until next time.